Yann Martel has been down this road before. The author knows well what it's like having the words he's written transformed into another medium, having seen his Life of Pi become an Academy Award-winning film.
It's a tricky thing. A novel is 300 and some pages. A screenplay will be at most 120 or so pages. And something as vastly complicated as a movie, it involves literally hundreds of people and dozens of millions of dollars. It's a tricky thing. But no, I was very happy with the adaptation.
And while he was generally pleased with the cinematic treatment of his work, he believes it may be more suited for a stage adaptation, where there is more emphasis on the words than the visuals.
Theatre has, of course, wonderful visual capacities, but it tends to bring out more, I think, the emotional and the verbal. Plays are obviously verbally driven and also emotionally driven. A play doesn't work if it is not emotionally driven.
Audiences in Saskatoon will get the chance to judge for themselves when an adaptation of Martel's Beatrice and Virgil hits the BackStage stage at Persephone. Like Life of Pi, it is somewhat autobiographical, as it tells the story of an author trying to follow up a highly successful book.
And that is indeed the case with me. Life of Pi was very successful. I still receive letters from fans, and I reply to every single one of them. So I use that as sort of the starting element of the story. But in a sense, I fictionalize myself to draw the reader in.
In Beatrice and Virgil, the writer meets a playwright who is also a taxidermist. But in another similarity with his earlier work, the animals are an allegory for something bigger.
Henry, the writer, realizes that there's much more going underneath this play that this man has written. So he's trying to figure out what it all represents, and then that leads to a very personal story about the taxidermist.
While the play had a run in Toronto previously, this is a uniquely Saskatoon production. The book was adapted by Lindsay Cochran, who is from here, as is her brother Brian, who directs. And of course, the Booker Prize-winning author also now calls the city home.
It's nice to have him here, so if we have a question, or if we had, what was your thought on that, we can just ask the source. We don't have to guess or come up with a reason on our own. We can just ask him.
I've never seen anything like this.
Brandon and Gordon Portman are the only actors who appear in the show, which may come as a surprise to those who have read Martel's densely woven source material.
I do think the people who have read the book will be interested in seeing it just to see how two actors tell the story. And for those who haven't read the book, all the better. They won't know what's coming. But then I would encourage them to go read the book, because obviously books can just have that much more detail in it.
Beatrice and Virgil runs through June 4th at the BackStage stage. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.